Well, I'm David Myers, State Senator for District 20, and District 20 includes most all of north central Oklahoma, and I live here in Ponca City. I live in Ponca City and am a strong supporter of the American Legion Children's Home. I'm also a Legionnaire and have been working on keeping the American Legion of Oklahoma from shutting down the Children's Home. A few weeks ago, I think it's 2 weeks ago today actually, out of the blue, the American Legion Children's Home Executive Board of Directors decided to shut the home down. There was no prior announcement, no prior knowledge on our part. It was a very quick decision made, in my opinion, in the middle of the night, without any input from any of us. That decision, of course, resonated through the entire community. We have been fighting with them constantly since that day, trying to convince them to do something different. Their arguments for shutting it down were that, number one, it was a drain on their expenses. Number two, it caused bad problems in Ponca City because of the type of children that they house there. And number three, it created in the scheme of things, it created problems for the Legion from a liability standpoint. They were afraid that if anything happened, they were going to be liable. First of all, let's just speak to those three issues. Number one, all of the money that pays for those children comes from either DHS funds that they sign a contract with the Children's Home. And by the way, the Children's Home is a C3, a 501c3 organization, and it's a corporation completely separate from the 501c19 corporation that the Legion is. But the funds to pay for that facility comes from DHS payments. About 90% of all of their expenses comes from those payments. The rest of it comes from, about 10% comes from donations from individuals, whatever. So the American Legion of Oklahoma does not have any expenses, so it is not a drain on their expenses. The statement that the kids cause problems. We minister to children who do have emotional problems. They've been uprooted from their family many times, some of them with no family at all. There's just a massive amount of things that they've been exposed to. These kids need help. And we know that they're going to be, in some cases, what we would call problem children. And my contention is that if you take a family of 62 or 44, out of that number, you're going to have someone that's constantly raising a ruckus. I had a family of 4 brothers. We fought at least once a week, maybe even more. So they are not a problem. I've spoken with the mayor. The mayor says these kids aren't a problem. We've spoken with the chief of police. Yes, they do have some calls out there, but not any more than the rest of the city of Ponca City. And if you look at the problems at the high school here with, let's say, quote unquote, normal children, they are in just as much trouble as anybody else in the city. This home, the number of incidents of calls to the police, etc., has gone down on a continuous basis for the last 5 or 6 years. They don't cause trouble. I live a block from the Children's Home. It's an open campus. We're not talking about barbed wire or razor wire fences around it. It's an open campus. At no time have we ever had any problem with the kids in our neighborhood bothering us or anything else. It's a farce to say that it creates problems in Ponca City. The third area that they felt was a big problem, evidently, the adjutant of the Legion and Oklahoma Legion said that all of these board of directors were liable for anything that might happen legally. Some legal lawsuit, of which he did not have any example, but just in case, he said they're going to lose their family farm, they're going to lose their inheritance, and on and on. A fear tactic to get them to vote to shut it down. They are absolutely covered by a liability policy, of which one of our local insurance companies here in Ponca City has that policy, so we know that they're covered. It is another fabrication to say that they're going to face tremendous loss of money just because of some lawsuit that might come about. Those three items, those three things are what the board of directors, executive committee for the Legion of Oklahoma said is the reason we're going to shut down. And we can dispel all of those. We would even, if this is a real problem and they want to get out from under it, we could set up a separate board of directors, use the 501c3 organization as it exists, as it's registered with Secretary of State of Oklahoma, put in a new board of directors, take the liability away from them. They would have nothing as far as liability or even running of the home. We have a group of people who would do that. The problem is that the adjutant and the board of directors will not even discuss alternatives. Their statement to the press has been, we made a decision, it's final, and we're not going to change our minds. That is a very hard-headed attitude, and it is also an attitude that doesn't have much concern for people. These are kids that we're going to uproot in 60 days, right during the Thanksgiving and Christmas season. It's putting counselors out on the street who have worked there for years, have given their life to this, and we're going to put them out on the street. Why won't the board listen to us? Why won't they compromise in some way? If we could just talk to them and find out what the real problems were, I'm sure we could work through this.